Hey, 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 happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief. Tonight is Tuesday, February 1st, 2022. This is live stream 747. This is the first time joining me. Let me point out, super casual around here. All we're doing is hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming. It is not rocket surgery taking place, that's for sure. So, about the first half of the game, we talk about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and then the second half of the show, we take a first look at a said tabletop game. Today, I am going to be taking a first look at the deluxe edition of Streets from Sinister Fish Games. I just did a news piece about this about 2 weeks ago, and this just showed up out of the blue. Now, I did review Villagers from Sinister Fish. Really enjoyed that. Definitely gave that a thumbs up. But funny thing is, I wasn't expecting this to show up at all. So a very pleasant surprise. So, of course, do want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, be sure to give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. Will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. Also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Haunted West from Darker Hue Studios. Yes, all 800 pages of this puppy. So stay tuned. I have a review of it on the horizon. So that will be up probably, I'm going to guess, this weekend. That is what I would think. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Lastly, this is a live stream, so that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay, but I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, by all means, feel free. Also, you have to be a subscriber for at least 48 hours before you can take part in chat. So that's yet another way that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay as well. So far, kind of quiet in chat tonight. The Madman, yes, the Motor City Madman, not Ted Nugent, is with us. Madman is one of our chat moderators here at the stream. So good to see the Madman hanging out. So, of course, as I already pointed out yesterday, the repaired laptop is back. So that means we've got news. I've got news pieces tonight, and there will be news posts on thegaminggang.com in the wee hours of the morning as well. It felt so weird not having news. Now, I know it was only a few streams, but it was even weirder not to have it on the website, because we also on Sundays post like the comic book news, like the major publishers and what comics they've got coming out that Wednesday. hadn't done it for 2 weeks. It was like very, very bizarre. And my brother is the one who sends me the info. And then I was like, don't bother because I really can't do a whole lot. So that will return this Sunday. Cool enough. All right. Battle Warpath and Sarah D are with us in chat. Sarah says they're watching out the window for that 1 to 20 inches of snow to start. Yes. I had noticed because I'm in the Chicago area. I'm in the western suburbs is what it's considered, as Mr. Eddie T says. Howdy, howdy, Mr. Eddie T. So yesterday there was talk that would be about 9 inches of snow in Chicago by morning, and then another wave of snow is coming through. But I have noticed they've made adjustments. Now they're saying 5 inches of snow in Chicago. And out by us, I don't know. It's been raining. It's been raining for most of the afternoon, and now into the evening. It has not turned to snow yet. So I don't know. And Sarah's right. It's sort of like, yeah, could get an inch, could get 2 feet. That's just how it goes in this area. As I was mentioning last night, I lived in Indiana, just on the other side of the border from Chicago. Well, a little further than just on the other side. I was 5 minutes away from Notre Dame in Mishawaka, Indiana. And growing up in Chicago, we'd always hear about that lake effect snow, and we'd be like, we don't get any snow. They're always talking about lake effect snow. We don't live that far from the lake. We don't get anything. Yeah, because we were on the Chicago side. When I was over in Mishawaka, it was like, be like, where the hell did that come from? Lake effect snow. Coco B is with us saying that we're there at, they have a blizzard and an extreme cold warning. Wow, minus 41 wind chill. Of course, when we speak about minus 41, that is Fahrenheit. So I know we've got folks who do watch outside the United States. So, yes. Oh, the joys of winter. Yes. Madman says 9 to 15 inches are forecasted for his area from tomorrow through Thursday. Well, here's hoping everybody who has any sort of weather warning in their area heeds that warning. If you needed to get something like today, I was like, well, we might get hit by the snow. I guess I better run out to the store today. So at least, there's enough groceries for, 2-3 days. Don't have to go running out any place. So the man says, yes, Coco B sounds like it's just wonderful weather there. Ugh. Ugh. I don't like snow. I really don't. I don't like snow at all. I don't like the cold. So I liked living out in Arizona, but then living out in Arizona, you have the flip side of the coin. You have 118 degrees and 40% humidity, which is pretty unbearable. Really is. Coco B says that's Celsius. They're in Canada. But at that point, at minus 41 is the same as Fahrenheit. That I did not know. I knew they got closer at the extremes, but I did not realize that by the time you hit minus 41, Celsius and Fahrenheit are very similar. Learn something new every day. All right, talking about learning something new, let's move on to the news, because arriving this spring from Portal Games is Batman Everybody Lies. Damn them, they all lie. They're all liars. Liars and the lying lies that they tell. Here's what I know about Batman Everybody Lies. Batman Everybody Lies is a story-driven cooperative deduction game based on the system of the award-winning detective game series. It delivers a deeply thematic experience that challenges players to team up with the Caped Crusader and bring the theatrics and themes of Batman to life. Players need to gather evidence and connect the facts to unravel the mystery. Every scenario ends with a final report with questions verifying how well the team has investigated the case. Fully anchored in rich comics lore, Batman Everybody Lies challenges players to take on the roles of four key investigators: instinctive journalist Warren Spacey, tenacious reporter Vicky Vale, brutish detective Harvey Bullock, or the cunning Catwoman, who are drawn into a series of mysterious events unfolding in Gotham City for their own respective agendas, ultimately becoming unlikely allies entrusted to help thwart villains new and old, as only Gotham's greatest detective can. Gotta be honest, I've never heard of Warren Spacey. Gotta point out, I haven't read Batman comics in a while, probably about a decade. But yeah, I'm not familiar with that character. Yet, even when these unlikely allies combine forces, their goals are not always aligned. So to capture the complexity of the comics, Portal has added a new hidden agenda mechanic to the detective system, which assigns secret goals and unique win conditions for each player based upon which DC character they portray. Beginning with an introductory prologue designed to get players acquainted with game rules, Batman Everybody Lies then continues with three big cases to solve, each taking roughly 2 to 3 hours to play. Each case can be played separately as standalone episodes. Yet, should players crack all four cases, they'll unravel a master narrative with an epic climax. Batman Everybody Lies is for 2 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. It's going to play in 2 to 3 hours per case, and will carry an MSRP of $50 when it arrives in Q2. Interesting. Yes. I knew Portal was going to team up with somebody with their detective series. I was kind of surprised it was not the estate of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, because I think that plays right on into an official Sherlock Holmes kind of game. Really, although I know there's Consulting Detective. There's a new edition of that I think is not out yet. I think it's still on the horizon. But funny enough, I will actually have some Sherlock Holmes news in just a few moments. But this looks to be kind of cool. I wish I had more images to share, because all they've released is just the box. And I do get a kick out of how it's like every body, and there's like a little drop of blood for where body is. Like, I don't, almost like it's like a little bullet hole or something. So it could be Everybody Lies or Everybody Lies. I know it's one word in the title, but still. I would be very interested in this. I would be very interested. I got to be honest. I think my best friend Elliot Miller bought Detective. I think he has Detective, although I've never played it. But for some reason, I think he's got it, because he tends to pick up Portal stuff. Just like he picked up the deluxe edition of Robinson Crusoe with all those. I don't think it was on Kickstarter. I think it was on GameFound or one of those other crowdfunding platforms. And he bought like all the minis and all the other stuff too. If you have been hanging out with the gaming gang going way back when we used to do the podcast, when it was Elliot and I doing the podcast, one of the funniest podcasts we ever did has the press release for Robinson Crusoe, and it is just bonkers. And I knew nothing about it. And Elliot was reading the press release, because that was something that we would do. We do the news, right? Just like this. And if you want to laugh, check out, we're going way back. We're going back, more than 10 years. But still, I've had people tell me who listened to the podcast back in the day that was some of the funniest gaming stuff they ever heard. All right, moving right along. The Madman says they have a few Portal games as well. Enjoyed all of them that they've purchased so far. I wish Portal would actually do that. Oh, what's the? I want to say Area 51. It's not Area 51. It's their. It's like one of their biggest games before Detective came along. The Detective series came along. I always forget the name of it, but it's like the post-apocalyptic game. They've got the role-playing game in that setting, but it's only in Polish. They've never had it localized and translated into English or any other language, as far as I know. And I'm just surprised we've never seen that. Okay, the Madman also points out their snowblower isn't working. They're glad to still have a 21-year-old living at home. Yeah, there you go. There's your shoveling action. Thankfully, our snowblower is on its last legs, but it should be able to survive throughout the rest of the winter here. Fingers crossed. On to the next news piece. There's a very interesting looking game that's coming from Red Raven Games. It's on the horizon, and I've got the skinny on Now or Never. Far to the south of the last ruin lies a cliffside village called the Monument. For generations, it protected an ancient shrine until the day a crystal meteorite descended. The meteor's denizens slowly crept out into the world, bizarre monstrosities from nightmare, attacking all in their path. As they spread across the land, there was no intelligent malice nor a grand invasion strategy. The creatures acted like a fungus, spreading into new territory sporadically. After many fruitless attempts to expel the monsters, the people of the monument fled as their village crumbled, exiled to distant lands, resigned to a nomadic existence. 20 years later, there are rumors that the bizarre monsters are growing weak. They're slower, less impervious to attack, some undergoing a gradual petrification until they crumble to dust. Is it the atmosphere? Are they dying of old age? Do they suffer from a strange disease? No one is certain, but as the news spreads, various factions set their eyes on the vacant, ruined village of the Monument. The original villagers, now refugees, are desperate to return and rebuild, but they must do it quickly before someone else claims their home. This is their chance. It's now or never. And now or never, you and up to 3 friends compete to best rebuild your ancestral village and guide the rest of the villagers on their journey home. Although the creatures of the meteorite have lost much of their strength, many of them remain, and you must fight them off to protect traveling villagers. Now or Never is the 3rd game in the Arzirium storybook series that includes Above and Below and Near and Far. Now or Never is a competitive strategy game that allows you to choose one of 4 asymmetrical characters to play. Rebuild the village so that returning villagers have a place to live. You must carefully choose what and where to build to maintain an advantage, earning the biggest rewards for long-term planning. Interact with other players by hiring their specialists to perform special actions. Combat dangerous creatures to rescue villagers. And explore a fantasy landscape filled with bizarre places, technology, and peoples. Now or Never includes 2 modes of play, standard and story. When playing in story mode, you read from a storybook when you explore, making choices and learning more about the characters and the world. Each character has their own set of stories unique to the locations they explore and diverse in plot, perspective, and motive, allowing you to choose what direction your own story will take. Journey to the Monument and help rebuild your ancient home. Now or Never is for 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and up. Plays in around 90 to 180 minutes. It's going to carry an MSRP of $79.99 when it rolls into stores February 23rd. Cool. This is the same company that released Sleeping Gods, which I have heard very, very good things about as well. Gotta be honest, I am not familiar with Near and Far and Above and Below. I have not heard, relatively, what they're like. I'm not sure if they're pretty good games, if they're average games, or what. But this does seem pretty interesting to me. That's why I wanted to share this news. And it is arriving later this month. Let's move on to some role-playing game news, because there is a new bundle of holding that's arrived, and it features Baker Street role-playing in the world of Sherlock Holmes from Fearlight Games. Here's the deal. Detective. This new Baker Street bundle presents the entire line of the Victorian investigative tabletop role-playing game, Baker Street, role-playing in the world of Sherlock Holmes from Fearlight Games. Sherlock Holmes is missing and presumed dead. In the great detective's absence, the stoic Dr. Watson asks you and your fellow intrepid investigators to solve the most baffling crimes in history. The wide-ranging investigations in these case books will send you to rescue the Queen, face the Hound of the Baskervilles, solve the Jack the Ripper murders, and foil many other nefarious plans of crafty villains. Victorian streets, foggy nights, and crime most foul await. For just $19.95, you'll get all 5 titles in the Detection Collection. Retail value, $80. These are DRM-free PDFs, which include the complete Baker Street role-playing in the world of Sherlock Holmes core rulebook, the campaign supplement, Sherlock by Gaslight, which is about the Whitechapel murders, and 3 case books that represent 19 investigations across London and beyond. These savings run through February 16th, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this offer's pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. I interviewed 2 of the guys from Fearlight. This was back at Gen Con. This is years ago. I don't think this was out yet. I think it was coming soon. And I did an interview, audio interview. It wasn't video. We weren't doing video then. So once again, we're talking, this is going back a ways, right? And I gotta say, I'm surprised that this RPG has not been more popular than it has been, because it's Sherlock Holmes. And if I remember correctly, this was approved by the estate of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So this wasn't, hey, we're using Sherlock Holmes because, it's public domain and we don't have to pay anybody. They were on board with the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle estate. So I did see in PDF, I saw the core book. I thought the artwork was, I think that may have had a little bit to do with it. Because a lot of times, I've said it time and time again, small independent publishers, if their artwork is less, doesn't have to be stellar. It just can't be meh. Because it really does detract from the product. And don't know what to tell you. But I've always heard this is a good RPG. So you can get everything that was ever done for it. And I got to be honest, I don't think Fearlight does much anymore. I mean, their website is still around, but doesn't look like it's been updated for quite some time. But you still get 19 cases. You get the little Jack the Ripper action there if you want. Although I don't know what I understand why we have the Sherlock Holmes, Jack the Ripper, deal that you see a lot. But if I were doing a Sherlock Holmes game, I wouldn't. I would not trace through that period. It's just, that's not Holmesian to me. I don't know. Anyway, check it out. Save some money. Get the whole shebang for less than $20. One other thing I do want to mention, if you do visit Bundle of Holding quite a bit, And you know, I am always promoting bundles from Bundle of Holding. Not every one, because every once in a while, like there's a publisher that's got one going right now that I refuse to ever share any news from. But you know, I'm a firm backer of Bundle of Holding. But right now they've got a bundle for old time radio shows. And I have seen the One Bookshelf sites also sell episodes of old time radio shows. So I want to say that this bundle is supposed to be suspense, but it's not actually all episodes of the old time radio show Suspense, which is an excellent show. It's a bunch of different stuff. I believe there are suspense episodes. My point is, do not buy it. Never purchase old time radio shows because you're getting ripped off. And anybody tells you that they own the copyright to those programs is BSing you. I'll just tell you that straight up. So I just wanted to point that out. I am not too keen to see the old time radio shows as a bundle because you can easily go to archive.org and download complete show runs of long time old time radio shows and even some obscure ones as well. But yeah, and I think it's something like, oh well, here's like 9 episodes and they're all MP3s, right? And they're all like 4 megabytes because of the sound quality is just mono, unless I highly doubt anybody's done any editing. But I think it's like $6.95 for like 9 episodes, and it's like, get out of here. That's I don't know. That's just that's skeevy to me. I don't like watching people charge money for things that are actually free or that they don't actually have a right to charge money for. So Mr. Eddie T says 20% of that one goes to the Internet Archive. I'm still not a big, or I guess 10%. Still, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If it all went to Internet Archive, then I might be a little more keen on it. But no, 20% going to the Internet Archive. Now, not when these are public domain. That would be like me sitting there saying, okay, I'm going to charge you. Of course, you see this all the time. So I was going to say, I'm going to charge you for a copy of the Sherlock Holmes stories in hardcover, which of course you would see all the time. I guarantee if you walk into some remaining bookstores, they still have those big volumes of like the Sherlock Holmes stories. Or I'll give you a great example. I also bought a volume of all the Lovecraft stories for my niece. And we're talking, I mean, it was a hefty hardcover. And I think it was like $7 from Amazon. So once again, public domain. But at least in that case, you're paying for a physical item. Here, it's just a digital file. Once again, yeah. Mr. Eddie T says that, yeah, they agree. Yeah. If you may not realize, or, if you don't follow the gaming gang and you haven't like followed for, a long time, I used to have an old time radio show website and I hosted a little weekly podcast where I'd share episodes of that. That's why I do the old time radio shows during Halloween. I like to do the October Spooktacular at the Gaming Gang. And I got a cease and desist email from some knucklehead who would sell CDs of MP3s of old time radio shows. And he claimed, I own the copyright on Jack Benny. And it's like, Get out. Bullshit. I figured, you know what? I don't want to have to deal with any of this anyway. But yeah, I've got tens of thousands of old time radio shows on various different portable hard drives. Man says those Halloween old time radio shows were fantastic. Mr. AT's asking if any of the old podcasts are hosted anywhere. I doubt it. I doubt it very highly. If they were anywhere, then you'd be able to find them at, believe it or not, Internet Archive. Good old archive.org. Yeah, if you ever want to see what, or get kind of an idea what the gaming gang looked like over the years, that is a good place to go take a peek. Although a lot of the images are gone, but you can kind of see the layout and stuff like that and how things have changed a lot in almost 13 years doing this. But yeah, I think those would be probably at the Internet Archive, maybe. And off the top of my head, I can't remember what the name of the site was anymore. I only did it for like 6 months, but it was fun. I had a good time. Okay, let's continue on with the news. Back in print for the 5th edition of Vampire the Masquerade is Forbidden Religions from Renegade Game Studios. Here's the deets. How dreadful, how perverse, how malicious would a kindred faith need to be considered forbidden? Within this book, you'll learn of religions stricken from the records of vampire scholars. Within, you shall find a collection of beliefs, some pernicious enough to collapse domains, others so focused that they possess only a handful of coteries the world over. Each faith is clandestine or clandestine. I always thought it's clandestine. Each religion is taboo. Cainites consider these beliefs to be the fragile existence of kindred society. Vampires do not advertise themselves as members of these cults. They plot, they survive, and they worship in secret. If they do not, they will surely be hunted to their final deaths, as threatened archons and princes seek to silence their forbidden thoughts. Forbidden religions includes a wide selection of belief systems, some widespread and cloaked in secrecy, others extreme in their focus, from Gankhanda seekers and Gehenna cults to infernal religions and churches dedicated to Methuselahs. New powers, rituals, and coterie types benefiting these religions. New optional lore sheets, merits, and flaws for use at character creation or to build into your characters as they gain experience. Keep in mind, this was originally published by Onyx Path Publishing under license to Paradox Interactive. Now it is available through Renegade Game Studios. The 94-page hardcover is available starting at $29.99 as a print-on-demand over at DriveThruRPG, or you can just grab the PDF alone for $14.99. Well, yes, if you are a fan of Vampire the Masquerade and you have been missing Forbidden Religions, it is back. It is now available through Renegade Game Studios. I got to admit, I don't understand a lot of the licensing with, especially Vampire the Masquerade. I understand why it is now with Renegade Game Studios. I just don't understand why some stuff, Onyx Path Publishing still publishes some stuff. Of course, World of Darkness is also different. So, even though Vampire the Masquerade is part of World of Darkness, Renegade does not have the rights to all of the World of Darkness. So it's all kind of scattered all over the place. And I find it a little bit confusing. I really do. Like, as an example, why is this available through Renegade Game Studios if it was published by Onyx Path? Was it because it was licensed to Paradox at the time? I don't know. Omanal's joined us in chat. 245 Trioxin is with us as well. And Kabuki Kid Double K is in the house. Omanal says V20 is 90% off at Drive-Thru RPG. Is that the deal of the day? Curious if it's the deal of the day. I had noticed that recently, I'd say in the past, I don't know, week and a half or so, when I notice the deal of the day has actually been pretty good for the most part. Pretty rocking deals of something you would want. A lot of times, deal of the day is kind of like, nah. Like, yeah, okay. I mean, it's only $2, but I still not really interested. Daniel Silverthorne is with us in chat as well. Omanal says it's a special for the month. Cool. Let me grab a quick sip and we'll move on to the last news piece. The latest release for Warhammer 40K Roleplay Wrath and Glory has arrived from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. Here's what I know about Church of Steel. Vehicular mayhem in the 41st millennium. Unveil the mysteries of the machine spirit and unleash the massive power of machines of war with Church of Steel, a comprehensive guide to vehicles in the Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory. That's okay. That was kind of strangely presented there. Didn't seem right. I would say maybe it should have been in the Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory setting, universe, something like that. Church of Steel contains rules for more than 80 vehicles from the diverse factions of the 41st millennium and narrative-focused rules for running them in your games. Take to the Mechanicist's workshop to customize your engines of destruction with a panoply of weapons and upgrades, including examinations of machine spirits that reside within vehicles of the Imperium. Build a unique history for your venerable vehicle and travel the harsh wastes of the Gilead system with story-building travel rules. Church of Steel includes a detailed exploration of the Adeptus Mechanicus and the machine cult in the Gilead system, as well as the reverence other factions have for their vehicles, rules for customizing the vehicle's appearance and quirks, as well as building a rich history of its exploits, information on the nature of machine spirits and Imperial vehicles, as well as how Xenos species view their own vehicles. There's guidance for incorporating travel into your games, from treks across planetary wastelands to journeys through massive hive cities. Rules for vehicle actions, interactions, and complications in and out of combat. Customization options for upgrading vehicle performance, adding new war gear, and installing new weapons. Stats for over 100 vehicles, from tanks to troop carriers to personal flyers, including a section on Necron vehicles. Is it Necron or Necron? I've heard people call it both. I always thought it was Necron, but that's just me. Also, the mysterious living metal Necrodermis. Rules for vehicular weaponry and war gear, including massive battle cannons, deadly melee weapons, and powerful means of protection. The 142-page PDF of Wrath and Glory Church of Steel is available at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. Any car, any color, $99.99 here at Earl Shop. Callahan Klatt has joined us as well in chat. We got a pretty good chat, rocking and rolling now. So Omanal says Onyx Path says they're having a 10th anniversary sale with a different product line each month. Nice. I'll tell you what product line Sammy is really digging is that from whatever, it's like, oh, they came from. It's like they came from beneath the sea. They came from outer space. what's the new one? I just did a news piece on it too. Oh, they came from Beyond the Grave. That's supposed to be like 70s horror movies. Look kind of cool. Looks pretty cool. And like I said, I'm hearing good things about it. So, and it is not World of Darkness. So Callahan says it's always pronounced Necron instead of Nacron. See, yeah, that's what I thought. But I've heard other people say Nacron. I'm not a 40K person, so played a little bit way back, and actually I used to pick up White Dwarf all the time. We did play a lot of Epic. I had a ton of Epic stuff, which long gone. God knows where it ended up. All right, that is it for the news tonight. I was talking about two news pieces where you can pick those up over at Drive-Thru RPG. Please keep in mind, the Gaming Gang, thus the Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to go visit Drive-Thru RPG, please swing by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you like the channel, if you like what I do, if you dig the Gaming Gang, by all means, feel free to buy me a cup of coffee or some soda by swinging on over to paypal.me/thegaminggang, and you can make a small donation. Keep in mind, I don't do Kickstarters to hang around. So everybody using those banner ads, anybody who swings on over and buys me some soda over at paypal.me is highly appreciated. Thank you kindly. As I'm drinking my PayPal Diet Right. If it weren't for you people, I'd be forced to drink water. Just kidding. I should point out, I think Mr. Eddie T, somebody had mentioned, as I was talking about the bundles of holding with the old time radio shows. So they would rather just make a donation to Internet Archive. That I could see. Internet Archive is an excellent website. It is a fantastic website. In my opinion, it is the Wikipedia of digital media. It really is. Can't tell you how many times I found something that I was looking for, like an old film clip. Okay, I'll give you a great example. So those of you who remember going to drive-ins, because I'm staring at the teleprompter and Drive-Thru RPG is sitting there in the last thing I was reading. It's like, those of you who've ever been to a drive-thru, yes, all of you have been to a drive-thru. Those of you who were ever at a drive-in movie may recall the "let's all go to the lobby, let's all go to the lobby, let's all go to the lobby and get ourselves a treat" cartoon that would run. And, you know, I honestly think originally that was in theaters when you'd have double features. But then, of course, that died out like in the early 80s. You weren't seeing double features in theaters. But I actually had gotten that film from Internet Archive. I actually had edited the music because every time I saw it, it was always out of sync. So I resynced it and edited it because I was going to use it on the show. It was going to be like my break music. And I, of course, got a copyright infringement flag on it. Yep. Because I always upload videos. I learned my lesson. Always upload videos before I include them on the show to make sure that I do not get hit with a copyright flag. And that one got me a copyright flag. So I was like, sorry, bye. Madman says, oh boy, does that song bring back memories? Kabuki Kid says, that jingle is emblazoned in my head. I remember it best from the drive-in. Yeah, that's what just like you would see, like they would do a countdown too. I'm sure a lot of people remember this. And because they would usually give you, I think it was like 10 minutes. Maybe it was 15. Maybe it's 15 minutes between the movies. And they would run, sometimes they'd run like coming attractions but they would have spliced throughout this, 5 more minutes till the show, and they'd be showing something. And I'll never forget, there's a ringmaster with a hot dog bun, an open hot dog bun, and a hot dog that's like doing tricks. And when the hot dog would jump into the bun, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, you were supposed to honk your horn. And I'll never forget. It'd always be like, dude, get ready. Bam, 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 bam. Driving full, all these cars, all people honking their horns. Yeah, that's back in the day. I think the Chicago area only has 1 or 2 drive-ins. I think it's down to 1. Yeah, those used to be pretty fun. Although I got to admit, last couple of times I went to a drive-in, very sketchy crowd. I think the last time I went to a drive-in, we saw guys walking around with guns. It's like, yeah, let's get out of here. So, head on out. Kabuki Kid says, yep, they remember the hot dog doing the flips and all that too. I jumped in the bun. Dude, he jumped in the bun, man. All righty, today I am going to be taking a first look at the deluxe edition of Streets from Sinister Fish Games. It is designed and illustrated by Haakon Hoel Gaarder. The game is for 1 to 5 players, ages 10 and up, plays in around 30 to 60 minutes, and this is the deluxe edition we're taking a peek at. It does carry an MSRP of approximately $55. Reason behind that is because I have only seen the MSRP in pounds sterling, not in US dollars. So I'm guessing the deluxe edition is around 55. The standard retail edition does carry an MSRP of $35. This is arriving in stores as I speak. Madman says they remember people getting in the trunk so they could sneak into the drive-in without paying. I knew some people who did that. We never did that because we each had our, $3 or whatever. I said Fort Worth, Texas had an awesome drive-in with food trucks and like 5 or 6 different screens. Yeah. There were cool drive-ins. There were. And then, of course, you had some that were just, dilapidated, falling apart, but still open to the public. Swing on over to the other camera because here I've got Streets. Ta-da! An urban tile laying game for 1 to 5 players. Let's get the shrink wrap off of this. And take a look at the bottom of the box. Streets is a tile laying game where players build a city together, one building at a time. As you expand this quirky urban environment, you'll need to find the best locations to maximize the value of your buildings and plan carefully to attract the growing crowds of hipsters, shoppers, parents, and tourists who all bring vital extra income. Whoever cashes out with the biggest stack of loot after the last tile is laid will win the game. Streets comes with 2 optional expansion modules and a challenging solo mode. As I mentioned previously, I really enjoyed Sinister Fish's Villagers. I thought that was a really, really well done game. I believe, I might be wrong, but I thought I ran across that there's actually going to be an expansion for Villagers, which is going to be popping up on Kickstarter soon. Okay, so we've got discussion of the Kickstarter promo pack, promo buildings, 2 new consultants using the big people. I guess these big people count as 5 regular people. Okay, so we've got that. Here we got the rule book. So let's take a look at the rule book. If you're curious what some of the differences are with the deluxe edition and the standard retail edition, is I believe that we've got the various different people actually have, I think that they're either painted or they have stickers on them. So we've got a lot of wooden tokens as opposed to cardboard. The city was once a small and sleepy town, but the affordable properties have attracted artists, startup companies, and families. Celebrities and influencers are moving in, and after some recent archaeological findings, the tourist industry is booming. Players are investors creating attractive new streets in the growing city, investing in new businesses and homes. Some streets will become hotspots for hipsters. Others will be dominated by tourists or families with children. Others still will become designated shopping areas. As each street is completed, people will move to new buildings that interest them, hopefully one of your buildings in an up-and-coming street. To earn the most money and win the game, you need to manage your investment funds cleverly, planning ahead while keeping your mind open to fresh opportunities. This profit is maximized by placing buildings in locations that increase their value. Okay, so showing us the components. Madman says Villagers Shifting Seasons funded this past July. I'm not sure if that's the one. The Madman's asking, are they coming out with another expansion? I gotta be honest. I'm not positive. That might have been it. Gotta realize a lot of these board game company websites don't get updated very often. So I've seen websites where it's like, oh, coming soon to Kickstarter. And if you click on the actual link, you go to a Kickstarter that's been over for a year and a half. It's like, okay, so why don't you have the actual game then? So we got the anatomy of a building showing us what the symbols are going to show, what people are attracted to that building. Got the setup. I think there were 47 building tiles. Is that what I saw? 40 building tiles. But I think we've got some special Kickstarter promo buildings too. So the turn sequence, pretty simple. Build a building, score streets, pick up a new building. So current player must choose a building from their hand and place it next to another building in the city, ensuring that the placement rules are obeyed, which we have right here. So you have to place the building oriented so the same way, so the roads connect. Okay. So essentially it just looks like, well, yes, you have to make sure that they're side by side. So you can place a building perpendicular to the building next to it. By doing that, you're going to create a new street. Sometimes you can do both those things at the same time. Okay. So you build a building, score streets. It says if any streets have become enclosed, you're going to score them. And players get money for selling their buildings. And the people in the street are going to move to other streets. Yeah, that's a little bizarre. And then you pick up a new building. When a street has buildings oriented in different directions at both ends, the street is enclosed. Gotcha. I see what they mean. Talking about scoring a street. People with fear of missing out. People with fear of missing out are placed standing up and want to move to new buildings as soon as possible. That's pretty funny. Fear of missing out. End of the game. At the end of the game, score all buildings in the city with ownership signs. Buildings scored during the end game scoring only score half what they normally would, rounded up. If you have a building that scores 4 from its valuation and 3 from the people on it, for example, it would normally score 7, but at the end of the game, it only scores 4. And whoever's got the most money wins. It says if the game's tied, those players can play another game of Streets to determine the winner. And every game is tied and it never ends. And then we got a gameplay example here. We've got a solo mode. And the rules for the solo mode as well. Business expansion. So these are some optional rules. Got consultants. That's part of an expansion here. Valuations explained. And here we've got the credits. There we go. So that is the rule book. Pretty short. It's pretty well laid out. I was going to say, I remember if it's anything like the rule book from Villagers, easy peasy. We picked up Villagers really easy. Really quickly. Okay, so here we've got, these are the consultants. Got a couple of boxes here. Yep, so these are going to be those wooden pieces I was talking about. We'll get a closer look at those in a sec. See, these are the people. See, they've got stickers on them. They're not just little wooden tokens, little wooden meeples here. And I see what they were talking about with the big people that represent 5. So we've got that. We've got a draw bag, a money bag. Let's see what we've got in here. Oh, candy. Yummy. Love when we get the free candy. And it is loaded with money tiles. Sweet. And once again, these are all wooden pieces. This is the deluxe edition. This is what you get. I would take a wild stab in the dark that this drawstring bag is probably a little different in the deluxe edition as well. All right. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take a look at some of these tiles. Oh, look, there's a board game cafe. Nice. And then we've got some dividers. Looks like, I think these are the Kickstarter promo consultants. So we'll take a look at those as well. Got some dividers here for 5 players in the promo pack. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the promo pack here. Okay. So we've got the best sushi fashion outlet. As we can see that I believe this is who it attracts on the street. I believe that's what that is, or that just kind of tells us what that street is focused on. So these are shoppers. Incredible daycare. Those are parents. Starter home. Once again, parents. So we're going to have a few starter homes, right? Couple. We got brand burgers, which that is actually the original McDonald's. No joke. That is the original McDonald's. Trendy lofts. Got a couple of those. Flea market. Oh, and it shows on the back. So I'm taking a stab. The way we set up is we have stacks, right? So we have stacks like this, shuffle them up. And then because it said one of the, like, I think the third phase is you select a building. So I think that's how you select the building. So it's relatively random, or maybe we have a stack and then we reveal one. I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you what, these tiles are nice and thick. Very cool. So we got a tourist shop. A giant toy store. Weeby Toys. A huge mall. And these are wild. That's why we see all the colors there. So we've got Indie Stage, the Realtor's Office, Optimistic Do-It-Yourself, a car park in Boston, the Warehouse. So we've got another optimistic do-it-yourself. The upvoted hotel. So these are for tourists. And then I think this is the valuation here in the corner. Oh, I see. And we see the 5+. So this is only used in 5 or more games with 5 or more players. So I think you get $2 for each tourist that's in the upvoted hotel. Got an art gallery. So, of course, these are hipsters. No doubt about that. Those are the hipsters. Okay, we got Best Sushi again and brand burgers. We have Central Station that has every group. Got a city park that has nobody. Ferris wheel. Another upvoted hotel. Another upvoted hotel. The Colossal Head. Don't miss the Colossal Head. We've got the Concept Store. A couple of those. Shopping area. Sweet ice cream. And of course, those hipsters love their craft coffee. At the art gallery, a couple of those. Got the student house. Bicycle repair bar. A couple of those. Okay. It's the weird restaurant. And the microbrewery. I'm not sure what copy means. Maybe you get to copy the valuation of another building on the street. Oh, it's the posh nightclub. Oh, the high-end tailor. A couple of those. Got a couple of high-end tailors there. Luxury apartments. And then chillax spa. All right, I think this is the promo pack. Yep, because it has a little PP down in the corner. So There's the board game cafe, construction site, junk art statue, the old tavern, which is where I'd be hanging out. It's the squatter commune with all the hipsters. Look at all the hipsters. Expert vinyl shop, grooming salon with a big cat. It's the groom you at the grooming salon. Fast cars. The candy shop. How sweet. How sweet it is. And the ball playground. Okay. Ball pool. Whatever that's supposed to be. Well, I think ball playground, I think it should be a baseball field, but I guess not. Okay. So that is the promo pack. And then we've got the artwork on the box here too. That's kind of cool. I like that. So might as well do this. I'm not going to sort out through the 5 players, but we know these all go in here. Oh, I'm thinking maybe Central Station is where you begin the layout, because it looks like this is the only one that's like dual-sided. So I think that might be the case. All right. All of these on in here. Like I said, once again, these tiles are nice and thick. Really like the quality of them. And they've got a nice matte finish to them as well. Okay. So I'm going to put this bag here for a moment. So let's take a peek at some of these wooden tokens here. So looks like we've got like a little house bubble, a dining bubble, a credit card, a smiley face, that might be it. That might be each of those. And then we've got these little signs with money on it. And we've got those in 5 colors. Just like so. I am not sure what these do. Of course, we'll find out. Okay, then we've got the people. And there are 4 different types. So we've got the tourist. So that is the tourist. And then we've got the big person, which represents 5 tourists. Then we've got shoppers. So as you can see, they have a purse. And then this is the big person for the shopper. We've got the hipsters with a bad bag. Oh, that's pretty funny. He's got a man bag. And of course, then we've got this guy on a unicycle. So he's the big person hipster. And then green is the parents with kids. It almost looks like, can't really tell, but it almost looks like it's one of those little bundles you put a baby in to carry the baby around. And that's the big person for those as well. All right. As you can see, we got quite a few of them in that box there. So then we've got contractors. And I believe the contractors are part of a variant. I thought they're optional. Kabuki Kid says immerse. Yeah, as someone who does not have kids, nor hangs out with too many hipster types, I would not know. So we've got some player aids here. And nice linen finish on these as well. Kid says the meeples are definitely amusing. Yeah, they're kind of cute. They're kind of cool. So we've got scoring the street on that side and the turn sequence on this side. Solo mode set up. Then we've got our consultants. So we've got a location scout. Just looks like they're both the same. Just got different artwork on each side. Got the investor. She looks like one of them. They are hipsters. She's an elderly hipster. Got the hacker. Hipster legends. When scoring your buildings, all hipster symbols count as wild, including the one printed on this card. Look, she's an influencer. Nice. Oh, no. The renovator. Entrepreneur. Contractor. And as you can see, we've got the number of players that you would include the contract. So if you're playing 5 players, I guess the contractor's not in play. Kabuki Kid says like a mutation of Edith had. Yes, the elderly hipster. There you go. Okay, and then we had some promo. I think they're from the Kickstarter. Let's put these in here as well. We had some additional. All right. Where the heck is it? It's like, where's all right, I swear it's on this side. There we go. It's like I couldn't get the edge. I'm like, what's going on here? It looks like there's only maybe 2. But just in case, we'll make sure. Yep, it's 2. So we've got the franchiser. And then we've got the realtor. So these are the bonus. These 2 consultants here are, I believe, a Kickstarter bonus. They are available in the deluxe edition. So I think in the deluxe edition, you're essentially getting everything from the Kickstarter. I don't think it's anything else. All right, so let's see. How in the world do we really get all this stuff in here? So if I remember correctly, weren't they? Yep, those are like so. I guess we could squeeze this in. Yeah, I guess we can. I was like, is this going to fit? I don't think this is going to fit. Yeah, it fit. The rules went along the side. We had the info about the promos here. And then we've got these as well. Did they go on top? They might have gone on top. All right. So that is Streets. Maybe. Let's try doing this. Actually, there's no maybe that this is Streets. It is Streets. But I'm just trying to get it where the box is actually going to lay flat there evenly, like so. Yeah, I don't think that's how it goes together, but that's okay. So Kabuki says, now for the Tetris game of boxing it all. Well, it's okay. I thought it was closed a little more than this. I might be wrong. I don't know. The box has been open just too long for me to remember. All right, that is Streets from Sinister Fish Games. It is arriving in stores. This is the deluxe edition, which carries an MSRP of approximately $55. You can get the standard retail edition, which I believe just contains the cardboard tokens, not the wooden pieces. And we did see there's some like additional building tiles, some extra consultants as well. So Sarah D says you can watch the video later and see how it all came out. Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I was just thinking. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera so I can wrap up. All right, so hey, we had the news back tonight. That's something. Of course, if you want to learn more about any of the items that I talked about during the news portion of the show, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com anytime after 3 a.m. Central, and you will see those news pieces there. All right, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already, and if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It will not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. I'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming review of Dungeons & Dragons Original Adventures Reincarnated Volume 2, The Isle of Dread from Goodman Games. On tomorrow's show, it is a War Game Wednesday, and I will be unboxing and taking a first look at Conquest and Consequence from my pals over at GMT Games. As I mentioned before, it's a pretty hefty game. Pretty hefty box here. So we're going to climb on in and check this out on tomorrow's show. Those of you who watch live, thank you very much. Always appreciate people taking some time out to keep me company. If you took part in chat, hey, those are bonus experience points for you. Pretty soon you're going to end up, leveling up. Badman's pointing out that they've got game night tomorrow. It's Adventures in Middle-earth for 5th edition D&D. Very cool. So we'll see the Madman on Monday. But everybody else, I will be back tomorrow. So I also understand a lot of people don't have an opportunity to watch the stream live. However you watch any of the videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be it live or on Memorex, thank you kindly. Really, really does mean a lot to me because I know there are a lot of board game, role-playing game shows out there that you could be checking out, and you're hanging with me. So thank you very much. All right. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your evening or morning or afternoon or whatever time it is in your neck of the woods. Once again, if you are in a location that is under any sort of weather advisory, please heed those warnings. Be careful out there. All right. Anyway, I also hope each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. And I'll see you tomorrow. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.